The National Electrical Code, often referred to as the NEC, addresses the requirements for electrical installations, and this includes specific regulations regarding the placement and accessibility of switches controlling appliances like garbage disposals. When considering the installation of a garbage disposal switch, several key aspects of the NEC must be taken into account to ensure compliance and safety. These aspects primarily revolve around the switch's location, its accessibility to the user, and its protection against accidental operation. According to the NEC, a switch controlling a garbage disposal must be readily accessible. This means that the user should be able to easily reach and operate the switch without having to overcome any obstacles or perform awkward maneuvers. The intent here is to ensure that the disposal can be quickly turned off in case of an emergency or when it is necessary to stop operation promptly. Locating a switch inside a cabinet, as described, generally violates this principle of accessibility. When a switch is placed inside a cabinet, the user must first open the cabinet door to access the switch. This extra step can be problematic in situations where a quick shutdown is required. Moreover, having to reach inside a cabinet can be inconvenient and potentially hazardous, especially if the cabinet contains other items that could obstruct access to the switch. Another critical requirement of the NEC is the height restriction for switches. The code stipulates that switches should not be mounted more than 4 feet, or approximately 1.2 meters above the floor or working platform. This height restriction is designed to ensure that the switch is within easy reach of most users, including those who may have limited mobility. Placing the switch inside a cabinet can also affect its compliance with this height requirement, depending on the cabinet's location and dimensions. If the cabinet is positioned in such a way that the switch is higher than the permissible limit when the door is open, it would constitute a code violation. The NEC also emphasizes the importance of preventing accidental operation of switches. This means that the switch should be installed in a location where it is not likely to be inadvertently turned on or off. Factors that can contribute to accidental operation include the switch being located in a high-traffic area where it could be bumped or brushed against, or the switch being installed in a position where it could be easily activated by objects or materials stored nearby. In the specific scenario described, locating the switch inside the cabinet could increase the risk of accidental operation. For example, if items stored in the cabinet shift or move around, they could potentially come into contact with the switch and inadvertently activate or deactivate it. This could lead to unexpected operation of the garbage disposal, which could be hazardous or damaging. In addition to these specific requirements, the NEC also provides general guidelines for the installation of electrical equipment, including switches. These guidelines emphasize the importance of following manufacturer's instructions, using appropriate wiring methods, and ensuring that all connections are properly made and secured. It is also crucial to verify that the switch is rated for the intended application and that it is installed in accordance with all applicable local codes and regulations. When an electrical installation fails to comply with the NEC requirements, it can result in a variety of consequences. These consequences can range from minor inconveniences to serious safety hazards. One potential consequence is that the installation may fail to pass inspection, which can delay or prevent the completion of a project. In addition, non-compliant installations can create safety hazards that could lead to electrical shocks, fires, or other injuries. For example, if a switch is not properly grounded or if it is installed in a damp or wet location, it could pose a significant electrocution risk. Similarly, if a switch is overloaded or if it is not protected by a circuit breaker, it could overheat and cause a fire. To avoid these potential consequences, it is essential to ensure that all electrical installations comply with the NEC requirements and any applicable local codes and regulations. This includes carefully planning the installation, selecting appropriate materials and equipment, and following all recommended installation practices. It is also advisable to have the installation inspected by a qualified electrical inspector to verify that it meets all applicable requirements. In situations where an existing electrical installation is found to be non-compliant with the NEC, it is important to take corrective action promptly. This may involve relocating the switch, replacing it with a different type of switch, or making other modifications to bring the installation into compliance with the code. In some cases, it may also be necessary to consult with a qualified electrician to determine the best course of action. The NEC is updated on a regular basis to reflect changes in technology, industry practices, and safety standards. It is therefore important to stay informed about the latest edition of the NEC and any applicable local amendments. This can be accomplished by attending training courses, reading industry publications, and consulting with qualified electrical professionals. In summary, the NEC provides specific requirements for the location and accessibility of switches controlling appliances like garbage disposals. These requirements are designed to ensure that the switches are readily accessible to the user, that they are not likely to be accidentally operated, and that they comply with all applicable height restrictions. Failure to comply with these requirements can result in safety hazards and code violations. Therefore, it is essential to carefully plan the installation of garbage disposal switches and to ensure that they meet all applicable NEC requirements and local codes. The specific requirement that the switch be within reach of the user is paramount. Placing it inside a cabinet fundamentally violates this principle. Consider the scenario where someone needs to quickly shut off the disposal due to an obstruction or other issue. Fumbling with the cabinet door adds unnecessary delay and potential risk. The code prioritizes immediate access for safety reasons. The height restriction of no more than 4 feet or 1.2 meters above the floor ensures accessibility for a wide range of individuals, including those with disabilities. While the inside of a cabinet might appear to be a convenient or aesthetically pleasing location, it likely violates this height requirement, especially if the cabinet is mounted above the standard countertop height. Furthermore, the NEC emphasis on preventing accidental operation is crucial. While a cabinet might seem like it offers protection against accidental activation, it can also create new opportunities for unintentional operation. Items stored within the cabinet could shift and inadvertently press against the switch, causing the disposal to start unexpectedly. This is particularly concerning if there are tools or utensils in the cabinet that could be damaged by the running disposal. Code compliance isn't merely about following rules, it's about ensuring safety and functionality. In the case of a garbage disposal switch, the NEC guidelines are designed to protect users from potential hazards and ensure that the appliance can be operated safely and efficiently. An electrical contractor relocating the switch should prioritize a location that is both easily accessible and protected from accidental operation. Common locations include the wall above the countertop or the side of an adjacent cabinet, ensuring it meets the height and accessibility requirements. Remember that local codes and regulations might have additional requirements or amendments to the NEC. Always check with the local authority having jurisdiction, often referred to as the AHJ, to ensure full compliance. This might involve consulting with a building inspector or electrical inspector to clarify any specific requirements or interpretations of the code. In conclusion, the NEC requirements for garbage disposal switch placement are clear and unambiguous. Placing the switch inside the cabinet violates the principles of accessibility, height restrictions, and prevention of accidental operation. Relocating the switch to a code-compliant location is essential for ensuring safety and passing inspection. The focus should always be on providing a readily accessible and safe means of controlling the garbage disposal. By adhering to the NEC guidelines, you can create an electrical installation that is both functional and safe for all users.